Hello guys, we're gonna go over the plan for the week. We're gonna start off with SPY. Now for SPY, I want you to see how we hit the support and then we rally to this resistance. We came back down. Then we did a higher low to here. We started to pick up and we came back down, double bottom to this low. Then the market was able to break resistance. Was able to break this resistance. So we broke up, we pulled back, we held above this. We didn't quite test it, but we held above it, and then it continued to go up, right? And then we formed this uptrend channel that it just continued to trade in. Every time it pulled back, it made our higher low, our lower lows. I'm sorry, our lows, higher lows, our highs, our higher highs. We have a higher high, then we have a higher low. So you have a low here, higher low, higher low. We have a high, higher high, higher high, giving you this channel until it peaked. Then here, after it pulled back, if I were to extend this channel, we pulled back. Notice that this time, it just fell right through. So one, we failed to do a higher high. Two, the pullback broke out of the channel that used to hold. We broke out. So now, this day, which was Friday, seller stepped in and then buyer stepped in. But the market doesn't know if we're going to continue to come down from here or if we're going to break out to the upside from here. So the level that we are going to watch is if we rally first. If we rally first, then the scenario that can happen is we break to the upside. So we break this channel to the upside, reject somewhere around here. So somewhere between 455 and 458, that would be a lower high to our last recent high. So let's say we rally and we reject somewhere around here. This is a lower high to that. So now that we come low, lower high, and reject, we should see a lower low. Lower low. So if we do drop, if we do rally first and reject here, and we reject and come down, this is the area where price should hold. And it's still a healthy pullback. After this run, we need a pullback. Like, we cannot continue just to go up. We need a pullback to be able to go higher. So if the market decides to reject this area, give us a lower high, then we will look for a lower low, which will be either this blue zone or even this circle. But this is like the lowest it should go. This is the lowest it should go for us to hold and continue up. That's seeing it this way. See how we go up and then we pull back. So the bigger picture would be from here to here, and from here to here, and from here to go higher. Like that, as this channel comes down into these levels. So if I were to extend this channel, we'll see what it does in these around these levels where we should get a bounce. We should get a bounce. So that's for SPY. So if we remove all the extra lines that I just added, which is just pretty much seeing where the market could head. Now, if you see, once we broke this resistance here, see how we broke this resistance? We pulled back and then we held right above it. We held right above it and then it rallied to give you a higher high. So once it gave you that higher high, you are out on the look for a higher low. A higher low. So once you see this, you're thinking already, okay, if we pull back, if you didn't catch this drop, if you didn't catch the pullback, then you wait. You already know it gave you a higher high, so now you're looking for a higher low. So you wait, knowing that you can't drop below your previous low because you need a higher low in order to get another higher high. And that's what we got here. So now here, notice that we pulled back to get our higher low, but this pullback actually broke the channel. Like that pullback actually broke the channel. And the moment it broke that channel, it's pretty much letting you know the trend has been broken for the moment. The moment we broke here is letting you know that you need to be cautious because the trend has broken. This right here, the trend has been broken. We are no longer in this trend channel. Now we're heading down. So, level to watch. 458 is your resistance that we should hit this week. If we hit that this week, you should look for weakness. Look for a reversal candle. Look for a reversal pattern. Whatever helps you identify that the market is being weak, that's when you enter. Right here at this resistance. We reject and we come back down to test these supports. That's for SPY. Now let's look at QQQ. The same thing for QQQ. We were in this uptrend channel. We just broke up from here. We broke up from this zone. We dropped support, rallied, couldn't break, came back down, held support again, and then we came back up. This time we broke, came back, tested the breakout, we held, and then we continued up, giving us higher highs and higher lows. Now, here, it failed to give us a higher high, and the low broke down the channel. Again, the trend has been broken. The trend has been broken. So, we're going to get a pullback, or we should get a pullback. If we rally first, this is the area where I want to see a rejection, 364. So if we rally and we break out of this channel, rally into here, this is where I would like for it to reject. So I will be looking for weakness. Now, let's say this doesn't reject. Then my next resistance would be 368, 369. That's my next resistance where I will look for weakness. If I don't get weakness there, I'm sorry. Now, the moment it breaks here, you can decide. Either you want to ride some calls into this resistance next, or you wait until it comes into this resistance and wait for the rejection. That all depends on the risk that you're willing to take. If you're not comfortable with the shorts and you want to catch the calls, then you want to make sure that it breaks the 364 and we hold above it and then you can write some calls to the 368. Now, if you want to wait and see what the market does at 368, 369, you can, and then you wait here. You'll be looking for weakness, which will be a lower high. You can enter shorts, you can enter puts for the rejection and come back down. So it all depends how you want to play it. You can play both sides. You can play it to the upside and play it back to the downside. That's assuming we break to the upside first. But our resistance for the week that I'm watching is 364. 364 is a resistance I am watching this week for rejection. Let's see how we wake up tomorrow in the morning, pre-market. Levels below, we have this. This is our levels below. This is where, if we drop, this is where the farthest the market should go. 343, 337, 337. Bulls have to come in to defend to get a higher high. We have to defend the 337. If the market drops, if we reject 334, the market drops. These are our levels below to watch. Now remember that we rally straight up, so a pullback, it's normal. And these are the levels that I am trying to watch for a hold. This is what I want to watch for a hold, 349 on QQQ, and this will give us a move like this. And then give us a higher high. Give us a higher high, possibly here. And that's the move that we should see this week if we get it. Come into here, and then we bounce, and then we come and get a higher high. But we have to confirm that higher low first. We have to confirm a higher low first to see a followed higher high. That's QQQ. Now Apple. Apple, we rallied literally from 148 to 170. I'm sorry, 179 with no pullbacks. No pullbacks. So Apple can lead the way. Apple will lead the way. If Apple rejects at 175, we get the little pop into 175, 176, and reject this area, lower high, give us a lower high, and then we reject this area, we can come down. And then we'll get the pullback that the market is looking for. So Apple falls, we'll get this drop here before we get the bounce. So Apple comes up. This is not Apple, but I'm just giving you an example of Apple, if what Apple does, how it plays out on this chart, QQQ. If Apple comes up, we can reject somewhere around here and then come down to this support before we bounce. Now let's look at Apple. So if Apple comes up, rejects, we come down to test this support that used to be resistance, broke out, but hasn't been tested as support yet. So this pullback will come down to here, which is 166, and then find a bounce. Something like this. And then find a bounce here. Depending on how many buyers there is, we'll see how price reacts around here, 170. And it all depends on what traders do here, if we're going to continue to this support or if we're going to break up to this resistance. This will be key. Once this, after this bounce, we're going to come test here, and then here will be key. Either we come here or we come here. That's Apple. Apple will lead the way. Microsoft. Microsoft rallied into resistance. This is a major zone. This is a gap. So in this gap, let's look at the day. Okay, so this is how it looks for the day. We have a doji. Okay, so with this doji in the daily chart, what you want to see on Monday, which is tomorrow, it's price hold here. This support. So I will label it support, and then I know where support is for Microsoft. So let's say the market opens and then we come down into support and then I see it holds, then I will buy calls for the rise. But then if the market opens and then it breaks below support, then I can decide if I want to enter puts as the market rejects this support and now makes it resistance by coming down. Then we can come to 303 where buyers have to start stepping in because it used to be resistance and then we broke up, which now we should come back down and test as support. So if buyers don't step in here, they will step in here. If they don't step in here, they will step in here. So you can see where you want to take your risk to the upside. Now, knowing how the day was on Friday, which is a doji, and knowing where you have to hold, let's go down to the 4-hour. So this is where we have to hold. So that means that the pre-market has to hold here. The pre-market has to hold here, and then when the market opens, we have to break up. And if that happens, we should get a lower high. If that happens, we should get a lower high somewhere around here, which is 312, 313. Somewhere around here, if that happens. But if in the pre-market we reject, if we reject this channel that we're currently in and fall below this support, then we will test Friday's low, and if we lose Friday's low, we will drop to 303, which is also the bottom channel. We will drop here, which is also the bottom channel. Now, if we lose this support right here, that's a big deal. If we lose the support right here, we will drop all the way to here, 398. If we lose this confluence, we'll drop to 298. 298. If we come up, your resistance 312, 313 should be a lower high. Should be a lower high. Now, this week is very, very, very critical because if we look at the weekly chart, if you guys look at the weekly chart, give me a second. All right, if we look at the weekly chart, notice how the week ended as a doji, right? For SPY and QQQ, a doji. So this week, this week, is gonna look the same for SPY and QQQ. We either get a candle like this, right? And that'll show a sign of rejection. This is our first sign of rejection. This is our signal that the market will continue to come down. If this is a candle that we get this week, if we just sell into this is, and we end the week like this, then we will come down to here, 329, and then we'll do one of these. Up and come down. So let's see how the market opens tomorrow. But this right here for the week, that's already letting us know that the sellers are getting tired. I'm sorry, the buyers are getting tired. The buyers are getting tired and sellers are stepping in. So if this week we cannot get past, this is the weekly chart. If this week we cannot get past last week's body, and we get this candle, then we're going to get more downside. And just look to the day. So for the day, this is what we're looking at for the day. So notice how, yes, we're going to come here and then we're going to get the bounce and then reject. If we reject, we can come back down to here and still be a higher low. Then buyers should come in here and bring it back to this zone. After it broke down, come back up. That's how you read the market. And this is how you get it in your smaller time frame. So if we get a drop, we look for a bounce. And then if we look for weakness, we get a rejection. And then we continue to get lower highs, lower lows. Let's go to the VIX. Now the VIX has been in this channel for a while. Notice here, here it got stuck. Look how much support it had here. It got stuck. It has so much support that the moment it broke down, it was hard to get back above it. It fought so hard. It got down that it was hard to get back above it. And it continued down, which is the reason why the market rallied the way it did. Now, we're doing higher lows here. We got a little channel. If I draw a channel, we're making higher lows, low, higher low. Let's see how it wakes up tomorrow. But if this holds, it'll be a higher low. Or we continue our lower highs. High, lower high, lower high, lower high. Lower high, we come down, and the market can go up first. So let's see how the pre-market wakes up. Let's see how the pre-market wakes up. But overall, the overall market view is if we rally first, we might rally into a resistance where we can get a big rejection. You can get both moves. You just have to know what you're doing. So if that happens, if we rally first, we'll look for rejection. Now, if we gap down first, then we look for support to hold and buy it back up. Okay, make sure you guys have your levels for the week. Once you have your levels, everything is a lot easier. All you have to do when the market plays along for the week, all you have to do is watch price at those levels. What is it doing? Is it going up? Is it going down? Is it going to reject? Those are the things that you have to think. Like this is the plan, right? And then when the market opens, I have my levels here. So if I have my levels, the market comes down, I see it's rejecting this trend line that I have for the day. I see this rejection. I can scalp it short, right? And if you're scared, if you're not sure, then you can wait. You can wait. When the market drops to this support right here, that you know you already have this trend line and you know you have this shaded area, you have a support. So you see price holding. So then you start thinking, okay, price is holding here. Maybe I can buy. Then if you try to look for a pattern because you want confirmation, you connect your highs, your high, your lower high for your intraday, and then your low and your lower lows for your intraday. Then you see you have this pattern, right? And once you establish this pattern, then that's when you know, okay, if I have this pattern going down, this usually breaks up, then you can either catch the bounce here or get the rejection here. It all depends on what you want to do. You want to day trade it, you want to swing it. There's a lot of ways. There's a lot of ways to make money, but if you have your levels, let's say you got in here, right? Let's say you got in here for the upside, and then you get this big red candle. They're going to scare you out. But there's no reason for you to get out because you're still holding above your support. So there's no reason for you to get out. Just watch and see. See what the market is going to do after that. As long as you are above a support, a trend line, an average line, whatever it is that is holding you back, as long as you hold that, there's no reason for you to get out of your trade. Keep holding it. That's the reason why you need levels, so you know where to hold and when to exit. Now, how do you know when to exit? Well, the moment you lose this support right here, this support that I have, 358.5, the moment it breaks down and it closes, like it closes below it and just never gets back above it, then that's how I know my trade is not gonna my trade is no longer good to the upside. So I cut my loss. I would cut my loss. But as long as it's above it, there's no reason for me to get out. And that's how you can just plan your trades. That's how you can plan your trades for the intraday. See, let's say you have your levels. Price just goes into it. Just wait and see what the market does on it. See, we go into it. We have extra lines, but let's take this one out. There's your channel. You know you're in the channel. So if you're down at the bottom channel, you know we're going to test the top. If you're at the top, you know we're going to test the bottom. And that's how you take your trades. Just like here, you know you're at the bottom channel, so you know we can test the top. So you're going to buy to the upside. Here we are. That's how you take your trades. So this week, let's see how the market does this week. If we rally up, we'll look for rejection. If we drop first, we'll look for support.